Last but not least, let's talk about the well-developed paragraph that you need to write, contextualizing your primary source as step 3 of the PSA, or primary source analysis assignment that you do once a week. So you're going to write for this part one well-developed paragraph elucidating any aspect of the primary source that you want. Essentially, you're going to put that source in the context of some information that you read this week in your textbook. You can always refer back to previous weeks, but you never have to do that. All right, so this can be about any aspect of the source. The important part here is that you pull out one thing about the source and make one really strong, well-developed point and back it up with a lot of evidence. To do that, to back it up with evidence, you need to do two things. You need to cite that particular source at least once by pulling a direct quote from it. So if you read the Ida B. Wells source, for example, you want to pull one quote from Ida B. Wells and put the title and page number in parentheses. And then you're going to cite the textbook at least 2 times. You can cite any part of your textbook you want. I recommend you stick with the chapter that's assigned for this week, because that's what the primary source is going to relate to best. You can either, for this part, you can either quote or paraphrase. Remember, up here, directly from the source, you need to quote it, but down here you can paraphrase. Whether you use a direct quote or you just pull some information from a page, you need to still put the title of the section and the page number in parentheses. So that's even if you're not quoting directly, remember to do that. So some things you can write about, you might want to think about what the primary source does to expand upon something you read about in the textbook this week. Or maybe how does it contradict or kind of complicate something that you read in the textbook for this week? I don't care what you write about right here, so long as you make an argument in the topic sentence about the source and then you back it up with a lot of evidence from the source and from the textbook all in one single paragraph. Sometimes at the end of the primary sources in your textbook, there's a list of questions for analysis. And if you want to use one of those as a springboard to answer, to write this paragraph, that's fine. You never need to answer all of them in a list or anything, but they might help you out when it comes to thinking about the source critically. Now let's talk about this concept of well-developed paragraph that I keep saying. A well-developed paragraph doesn't necessarily have X number of sentences. What it does have, every single well-developed paragraph begins with a clear topic sentence that tells me the argument of your paragraph. So you should have the very first sentence making an argument, and then every single sentence following that should give me some evidence and details to prove that topic sentence argument. Now, if you follow this PDF to San Diego City College, I won't open it up now because it'll take a second. That will help you figure out if your paragraphs are well developed. Again, the key is making an argument and then proving that argument. One final thing that I will say about this, here's a quick check that I think you should do after you write every well-developed paragraph. You should read your first sentence and you should read your last sentence. And you should figure out, is it my first sentence that's making an argument or is it my last sentence that's making an argument? Often you won't know what you've argued until you've already argued it, so you'll put that argument at the end. And the simple solution for that is often just to flip-flop the first and last sentences, and you'll find that you have a good strong argument as the first sentence instead of the last one, which is the correct way to write a well-developed paragraph. That will do it for the videos on the primary source analysis. Phew!